Okay, so remember that they are changing my voice. I have a sore throat from being fumed, so I'm going to make this short here. I want you to ask yourself, how did China lift nearly 800 million people out of extreme poverty in the last 40 years? It's about 20 million a year. How were they able to do it? Now, I'm not a communist. I don't work for the Chinese Communist Party or the Communist Party of China. I'm somebody who notices things, who analyzes things, and who makes sound recommendations. There's a difference between what I'm recommending and communism. What I'm recommending is learning from the mistakes of crony capitalism and learning from the mistakes of communism and coming up with a sound and moral economy with sound social programs. So one of the things they did is they had a massive agricultural program. They had poverty alleviation workshops. Again, they had poverty alleviation workshops. And they also had a massive agricultural program with thousands of agricultural production bases. It created millions of jobs. It was part of their economic transformation. It was part of their state-led war on poverty campaigns. They're called targeted state-led poverty campaigns. Again, I'm not a communist. I wasn't trained in the communist traditions. I'm somebody who believes in a moral economy. I don't believe in censoring free speech. There's some things that China did that were respectable. There's some things they did that are very questionable. I think that people should be allowed to protest within reason. But if they start moving methodically toward cracking down on human rights, you have to be very careful where you draw the line, mind you, very careful. And the government should suppress them. Because under no circumstances should people lose their human rights, and under no circumstances should a country as wealthy as America not build more rehabs and more housing for the homeless. So let me give you an example here. If someone was to say, hey, when people try to solve homelessness, they just waste taxpayer money, that's allowed. If they scramble to prevent a program with millions and millions of dollars of oversight, with citizen committees making sure that the dollars are spent well, with the FBI tracing the money, with the penalty for fraud being doubled, if they scramble to prevent that, then they should suppress their organizations. And why? See, I like free speech just as much as the next person. I like it more than the next person. I get censored. I know how it feels. Because under no circumstances should people crack down on the things that are essential services for the least of the brethren. A moral economy that carefully considers where the line is when it comes to free speech and censorship, and draws a line in a place that is very respectable. So we'll get to it more in part 2 here. I got a sore throat.